I always feel like I have to defend myself and preface my statements I'm about to make with, I love Trump and the Trump administration. Okay. But that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that they're doing. This thing with Iran, I get that there's more than just Trump involved, but this was supposed to end, according to Trump himself, weeks ago. It was only going to last days or weeks. Now we're into month 3. The prices at the pump are driving people batshit crazy. Retailers such as Walmart and others are price gouging and holding on to just disgustingly high prices on necessities, groceries, etc. And their excuse is, well, the higher gas prices mean that it costs more to ship the products to the stores because the truck drivers have to be paid more to accommodate the gas and so on. It's like a chain reaction, right? I don't know why the Trump administration isn't doing something about the price gouging. Where is all this oil that we've been told that we have in America? Where is all of these reserves? I heard him weeks ago say he was going to eliminate the gas tax to make it easier on Americans. I don't think we've seen that yet. And the other thing that's really bothering me is not just that we're still in the middle of this, but the cost. It is costing conservatives and the Republican Party seats in the Senate, seats in the House. We're getting rampant communists, terrorists and extremists winning runoff elections and making it to election season. Because people are sick and tired of this shit. Quit beating your chest and pointing your fingers. You're not doing anything constructive. But what really bothers me is when Trump goes to Truth Social and he starts bragging and running, Iran's military's been obliterated. Their navy is underwater. They've got nothing left. They're just completely gone off the face of the earth. Oh, really? Huh? Then if their military is obliterated, then how did their military blow one of our Apache helicopters out of the sky? If their navy's underwater dead, then who is right now today planting landmines in the Strait of Hormuz? Whose ships are in the Strait of Hormuz blocking ships from coming in and out? It's not obliterated. If their army was sunk, if their army was obliterated and their navy was sunk, then why are they blowing us out of the sky? Was it some Iranian children playing in the backyard with a kite or a drone and they accidentally shot it too close to an Apache helicopter? Don't be saying shit that you can't back up, because it's destroying your reputation. It's destroying your base. And it's accomplishing nothing. It's getting harder and harder and harder each day for everybody to deal with this. You made promises, you sort of kept some of them, but not all of them. I know you're only in your second year. And you know what really bothers me is that if this thing with Iran ever comes to an end, I'm concerned that it will come to an end because of the hard work of Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Jared Kushner, and that Trump will take all the credit and that Trump will demand a Nobel Peace Prize for his job in it, even though the other 3 are the ones that are going into enemy territory, flying over there and landing on their ground and putting their lives at risk in the Middle East physically to make this happen. I've said for a long time now that we are going to end up in another civil war. And I think I'm mistaken. I think that this war is already here. These people taking to the streets with violence against law enforcement, the National Guard soldiers that were gunned down. This is war, and they're amassing their armies and taking them to the streets. Now, yeah, it's not true protesting. It's unsophisticated, unintelligent people having temper tantrums. They're accomplishing nothing. They're not getting any messages across except that we're violent, brain-damaged monsters that are taken to the streets. You know, if you want to learn how to protest effectively, look at the civil rights movement of the mid-20th century. Look at how those people marched. Look at what their message was. Look at how they handled it, because they actually got things done. All you're doing is poking a bear and getting it more and more angry. This war is costing the midterms. It's costing us the elections in November. It'll cost us that. It's costing us excruciating pain at the pump and the grocery stores. And I'm getting so tired. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm a Republican now. I am a conservative. I will always be. I will never be a communist like the state of Maine, the state of California. They're communist countries now. I don't even think we should recognize them or as states of the United States. They're committing all kinds of treasonous acts. I think we should stop funding anything to them federally. They should just, be left to their own devices, and then, when they realize what a bad decision they've made, maybe they'll come to their senses. But until then, these lunatics and these communists and these psychopaths are running away with our elections because of what's happening right now. They can point a finger. Trump is giving them every opportunity to say, see what's happened? They put us in a war when he promised us we weren't going to be. Because now they're calling this Iran conflict thing an actual war. Well, see, he put us into a war. He said he was going to end them all, but here he is putting us into a big one. He said he was going to lower prices. Really? Well, look. Pump prices are skyrocketing. Cash register prices are skyrocketing. And he is doing this at the wrong time. I think he probably imagined that this would only last a few days or a few weeks, and that it would have been done and over with, and there would have been peace throughout the land, and then people would celebrate it, and the Republicans would, sweep all of these runoffs and these primaries, and it's not happening. Not happening. But, yeah, I'm pretty upset about things right now. I'm feeling pretty down and depressed about things right now. The condition, the state of my nation it's in shambles. And if he doesn't get his shit together, see, this thing with Iran, the problem is that he's not fighting a political body, he's fighting a religious extreme body. They don't acknowledge or recognize the rule of law that pertains to constitutions, because all nations have some kind of constitution. We're not the only ones with a constitution. They don't acknowledge that. They don't recognize, they don't abide by that. And these psychopaths believe that they have to hang on or die, and they're perfectly fine dying for that. So there is no way to end this reasonably or peacefully. And again, you can't, when Trump says, oh, we obliterated their army, we did this or that. Yeah, no, they're still planting mines in the Strait of Hormuz and bullying tankers. They just blew an Apache helicopter out of the sky. They had to have some kind of army or military to do that. So what he's saying is categorically false, and I'm upset about that. One of the things Trump is he's not polished. He's not rehearsed. He is off the cuff, unscripted. And I'm surprised that nobody has called him on that. So yeah, it rained here in the great state of Minnesota overnight, which is good. Everything needs watering. We started the repair project on the giant pond yesterday. So we're about halfway through with that. We have to dig the trench out there and redesign it at one end because it doesn't want to hold water. There's no leaks in the line or anything. We've verified that. It's a design flaw from the one end that we have our beach at. It's not graded deep enough and the water's not staying in. It's just flowing out in the other end. So we're working on that. Yeah, it's going to be a busy day at work and yeah. Yeah. Weight loss is going well. I've lost a couple more pounds this week so far. Yeah, 44 pounds down now. So I'm excited about that. I'm keeping a positive up about that. And yeah. So the Salo Happy Home is still happy and still Salo and still working on those yard projects. The tractor, see, we needed to fix the design flaw last fall on the pond, but we couldn't because the axles blew on the they both snapped into on the tractor, and it took Douglas most of the year to get custom axles made, and then the axles came and he installed them, but the seals needed to be replaced and he couldn't operate it without the seals. That took over 2 weeks to get here. Now that they got here and he put the seals on, we can finally use the tractor, which we need to fix the design flaw. So we started the projects, the external landscaping beautification projects, but rain and now the pond priority has been taking us away from the rest of the landscaping up front, but we'll get to it. We got time. Yeah. Lots of parties and graduations. June is the wedding month, the graduation month. We got some birthdays, milestone birthdays. So we got, busy weekends for a while, but yeah, we're getting it there. But I wanted to sit down with you, my loyal listener, and tell you my observations and my feelings and my concerns about this thing with Iran. And like everybody, I'm growing weary of it, and I'm feeling it, and I'm just getting tired of it. And as I mentioned in a previous video, after hearing Scott Bessent, Iran, it's like now that's their favorite excuse for everything. Gangbangers are shooting innocent people in the streets. Well, Iran. It's Iran. Gas prices are. Well, it's Iran. The only thing that is inflation is definitely from Iran. And the Democrats and the communists winning all of these primaries and runoff elections is because of Iran. So yeah, you can say that. But we got to get this under control. And I am reaching out to you, Donald Trump, our president, our leader. I am begging you to put a stop to this immediately. You are discrediting yourself, and the American people are fickle. They will turn on you. And I know that this is your last term. You probably don't care. But if you truly, truly, sincerely mean that you want world peace for the sake of Americans and all people, then you do the right thing and you stop this. Or you accept defeat and you get out. But you're not being affected by the gas prices and the grocery prices. We are. So stop beating your chest and sign some executive order and get this ended. And until next time, do good and be good.